Hi everyone, and welcome to What's New in Vectorworks 2012. Once again, the development team has outdone themselves, fine-tuning every element and finding new ways to help you accelerate your design process. Vectorworks continues to be the clear choice when considering design software that's flexible, versatile, intuitive, and smart. Most of us have utilized the power of working planes from time to time to place and draw objects based on geometry that doesn't rest on the ground plane, using the keyboard shortcut or by invoking the tool from the 3D modeling toolset. Well, not anymore. Here's a rather futuristic looking sculpture. Before beginning, we'll set the plane control to automatic. Now, notice how Vectorworks' sophisticated interface automatically acquires a planar surface just by mousing over a face. And once the face has been acquired, both 2D and 3D objects, as well as text, can be immediately placed. Here's another great tool that uses the power of automatic working planes. Notice how we can now quickly and efficiently dimension this carriage light fixture, with the tool automatically sensing on which plane to set the dimension. The tool works in constrained, angular, or radial modes, and can also produce centerline graphics. It's as simple as choosing the mode you want and letting the tool do the work. Let's look at how the push-pull tool works in Vectorworks 2012. Here are two closely related modes activated by the Option key. The first one draws a 3D element directly from its 2D form. No having to switch to any other tool. Just draw and pull. Keep in mind this new extruded object is a separate object and can be edited if needed. So let's try again. Now by holding down the Option key while pulling out the 3D form, that form becomes a solid addition automatically. Subtractions can be accomplished with the same elegance. Just hold down that Option key and push or pull. The power and freedom to create quickly is right there. A word of caution, this could really get addicting. So enjoy. Modeling multi-level buildings just got a great deal easier with the introduction of Vectorworks Stories. The concept of stories can be envisioned as either a container for or a grouping of layers, resulting in the ability to respond to changes even more quickly and accurately. Many of the common parametric objects you're familiar with are now story-aware. This simply means that a particular object can be linked or bound to an elevation and will stretch appropriately as the floor-to-floor height changes. Looking at this sectional model, we'll change the floor-to-floor height of the third floor, and you'll see how the objects within the story change. Notice how the stair object automatically increases the number of treads and risers. The walls increase in height as well as the columns grow. Also notice how the stories above respond by moving up. All of this is accomplished by using the organizational feature that's graphically and parametrically linked to the model. We've also been busy working with the Space tool as well. We've streamlined the interface, providing you with a more straightforward means of entering data into the space tag. Simply by activating the Manage Space Label button, you'll be able to create data fields quickly and elegantly. Additionally, we fine-tuned the space tag, making the scale page-based, so it will easily adapt to the scale of your drawings. And now that you've created that perfect space tag, you'll want to place it in a space, and we've improved these as well. Without getting too technical, the space boundary is now a polyline. These are simply more editable, resulting in a more accurate depiction of your spatial designs. We still maintained all the functionality of being able to select various boundary conditions, and graphically, as always, we support a full array of colors and opacities. As you know, framing models can be generated directly from your design model, giving both you, the designer, and the framing crew a very good idea of what's expected. With the introduction of slabs, complete with components, it only seemed natural to be able to place floor joists right where they're actually located, right in the joist bay. Well, you can, and here's how it's done. Using the familiar Create Joist from Poly dialog, you see a new option at the top which will give you the ability to choose the joist gallery based on your slab style. Enter parameters for joist size, and color and texture and line weight, and then tell Vectorworks in which direction you want the joist set. The proper elevation will be automatically determined, and there you have it. Vectorworks has always been superior when it comes to graphic representation of plan views, and handling wall intersections is no exception. Here's a fairly common situation where three walls intersect. Two walls are similar in construction, and one's different. So let's join these walls up. First, make sure your preferences are set up. The selection for Auto Join Walls should be checked. Now, just follow these simple steps. Use the L-join mode to join the two similar walls. Then, add the third one using the T-join mode, and you're done. Simple, elegant. Notice how the individual components join up properly. Now let's see it again on a Y intersection. Just follow the two-step process. First the L-join, and finish it up with the T-join. Perfect. And in 3D, all is well. All components are properly joined, so keep on modeling. Ever need to see what's behind the elements you're currently working on for alignment purposes? Well, here's the perfect tool to help you alleviate the old hide and seek. Just by pressing the B key, you'll toggle on and off fills, providing you with the ability to see what's back there. You'll be able to quickly see and accurately snap to, align, reshape, and move objects that are hidden behind other objects. The degree of opacity for this new feature is set in the Interactive Appearances settings, giving you just the look you need. Here's a wonderful new addition that will really speed up the process of making modifications on, say, a space plan easy. With this Modify by Record Value command, you can automatically modify the attributes of objects, resize objects, and even create extrudes from objects sharing a specific record value. In this case, we want to apply colors from a gradient based on a net area of the selected spaces in this mall floor plan. And just like that, we've done a color scheme based on space areas. Cool. The latest enhancements in our database worksheets have removed barriers and made the entire process of building up worksheets much more efficient. One of the more notable improvements is the ability to use an unlimited number of column sorts and sums. It's really simple. Just drag the icon for a sort or sum onto any column and voila, there you have it. Now we can sum on as many columns as necessary to get the worksheet to look just the way we want. Continuing in the vein of improved workflow efficiency, here's an option you'll find that can help you identify and move quickly from one view to the next. We've now included the ability to set background colors for a particular view. So, if you want your top plan view to be slightly gray or your sheet layer background to read slightly blue, no problem. Just go to the Preferences setting and pick your color. And now let's talk about sharing your model data with others. IFC, or Industry Foundation Classes, continues to be the international open standard for BIM collaboration. For many, this will be one of the top 10 features that will effectively keep you in the design loop. Vectorworks has had the ability to transfer data from one object to another for years. Now we bring the power of that great tool, the eyedropper, to the world of IFC. Here's a graphic example. Pick up all that vital IFC data with one simple tool and distribute it to one or many objects just by including them in your selection set. Here's an architectural model where the structural information was transferred to a structural design application. Stress analysis and seismic studies are performed. The model is then re-exported via IFC back to Vectorworks Architect, resulting in a smooth, efficient transfer of BIM data. And as I'm sure you're aware, it's more important than ever to communicate effectively with your colleagues and other team members. We've made great strides with our DXF DWG support so that you can collaborate with ease. Save your export settings. Gradients can now be imported and exported. Line weight by color has been improved. Clip blocks are now a choice. Image fills are a great addition to the list, as is export only selected objects. Import hatch has been improved, and finally, opacity is accurately translated between CAD applications. We've continued to tweak both the door and window tools, offering you even more design flexibility when creating these objects. Some are mostly 2D specific, and some relate to both 2D and 3D. So let's have a look at doors first. In 2D, for your plan views, the line weight and style for thresholds and the door swing can now be independently selected and classed. Switching to 3D, thresholds can now be configured to extend beyond the inside of the jamb. Transom glazing can be independently classed. It's no longer tied to side-light glazing, so you can include something like stained glass or obscure glass in your project. Muntin or glazing bar depth can now be set and is expressed as bar depth. Additionally, in many commercial applications, uneven bipart leaf configurations are required, and these are now easily created right in the Object Info palette. Looking at windows, muntins in the transom can now be independently configured, offering even more design flexibility. And to broaden that design flexibility even more, sashes can now be offset in the jamb, and the glass can be offset within the sash. And for both doors and windows, the hinge direction marker can now be shown on both the interior and exterior and can be placed in its own class, so it can be turned off for rendering purposes. And finally, doors and windows can be sized by leaf size for doors or sash size for windows. You can also specify a door or window by its unit size or rough opening size. We've also improved the stair tool. Not only can you assign graphic attributes to each of the components of the stair, you can now ask Vectorworks to assign attributes by class to all components just by clicking a button. To help you design code-compliant stairs, we've provided you with the ability to set certain parameters, such as the maximum angle, found in the Min-Max settings group. There's also a button to quickly turn those values off if you want to further explore some of the what-if conditions as you design your stair. Moving on, we also offer more flexibility in showing the top tread of a stair run, either with or without the last riser and its nosing. And finally, we've improved the feedback you get from several of the dialogues. Rather than being warned that you just can't create a certain configuration, our intelligent dialogues now give you some helpful design options. Creating sun studies in the past with a heliodon seems to have required some fairly sophisticated machinery, the analog version. But for 2012, we at Vectorworks have made it a bit easier with a new digital version, the heliodon tool. The tool incorporates the functionality of the Set Sun Position tool, but then takes it to another level entirely. Just by simply selecting a city, in this case New York, we'll be able to determine a ton of solar data, as well as visually see how the sun's path could affect the orientation of these tennis courts that typically require an east-west axis. These two dialogues represent the control center for your solar animations. Our unique solar marker is a hybrid object containing the light source, and it displays information when in top plan view. Here it's easy to dynamically control the path of the sun that you've defined just by manipulating the slider control. Setting up and running solar animations is a snap, and by naming up to 4 walls in the document, the shadow angle calculator will help you discover the altitude and horizontal shadow angle. This is the data you'll need to explore the effectiveness and design shading systems. With RenderWorks 2012, you get seriously improved OpenGL capabilities with OpenGL shadows, better accuracy, and better quality. We think this might be one where you'll need to see for yourself. Another great new addition to RenderWorks 2012 is the development of some new metallic shaders. Thanks to the Cinema 4D render engine, you'll be stunned by the clearer definition and true-to-life appearance of shiny, brushed, or turned metal. As you see here, the new shaders give you a more refined definition of pattern, stroke, and overall appearance of the texture. The results, very cool and very realistic renders. Now here's one of our favorite new features that's really going to save you a ton of time. The new RenderWorks Styles feature puts your personal style to good use over and over again. You can create custom configurations for lighting, backgrounds, and render settings as reusable resources in your documents. Just drag and drop your custom resource onto your file and all your settings will be applied just like that. And better yet, resources can be saved and shared with others. So for this year, we invite you to accelerate your designs in 2012. Increase your efficiency, up your productivity, go where you want to go.